What's up, guys? Thanks for voting on the poll. The NBA Eastern Conference race, it won by one vote, so tonight I'm going to talk about that. But tomorrow I will get to Nick Saban because I do want to talk about him. He's a great subject to talk about. So look for that tomorrow in my video for those of you who voted for Nick Saban. But in the Eastern Conference, it's a great race right now. Boston is the class of the East. They're number one at 33-10. And number two, though, is Toronto, who I think is underappreciated. I think they need to be taken more seriously because they're a really good team. They're only 3 games back behind the Celtics. They're 28-11, playing very, very well. With DeMar DeRozan balling, Ibaka stretches the floor. Valanciunas is a decent big man. They're actually a lot deeper than people think. They've got some decent guys off the bench. They're not stars and they're not super, super talented, but they're a good team. What will hurt them is Kyle Lowry's out indefinitely. That's the reason they lost, I think, to the Miami Heat last night. I think that's the reason. Without Lowry, it's tough because he is an all-star. We'll see how he performs come playoff time because the playoffs, he just seems to forget what is basketball. He does not perform as well in the playoffs. He's got to make up for it. He's got to do it this year, especially if they want to beat the Cavs because the Cavs have eliminated them the past 2 seasons. But I think the Raptors can actually beat the Cavs this year. I'm not saying they will. I wouldn't pick them. But I think they do have a chance. And so I think the Cavs need to be worried about the Celtics and the Raptors. The Cavs, I'm not giving them a free pass to the Eastern Conference Finals, let alone the NBA Finals, because the Raptors could beat them in that second round should they meet. If the playoffs started right now, they would probably meet in the second round. If they both won their first round series, they would meet. And then Boston at number 1. I think Boston is a great team. Kyrie Irving's playing amazing. He's an MVP candidate. What I like about him is he doesn't have to put up huge numbers for them to win. But they've got good wings in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That Hayward injury, almost a blessing in disguise. I hate to say it, but it kind of is for their young guys in that way. But I'm still worried a little bit about their depth come playoff time. If I had to pick, I still would pick Cleveland in a 7-game series when it comes down to it in the postseason. LeBron James doing LeBron James things. Isaiah Thomas scoring the basketball. Now, the Cavs are going to hurt defensively. Isaiah Thomas is going to bring their defense down even more, which is what hurts. If the Cavs want to lock up, I think, another NBA Finals berth, I think they do have to make a trade at the deadline, possibly and preferably grab DeAndre Jordan as a rim protector because their defense is awful and Isaiah Thomas is only going to make their defense even worse. But Isaiah Thomas is going to help their offense, so that's going to be interesting because the Celtics don't score a ton of points, and they're going to have to score more to keep up with the Cavaliers. But other than that, the Heat are number 4. They're 8-2 in their last 10 games, playing really well right now, up to number 4 with a tiebreaker over number 5 Washington Wizards. The Heat need consistency from Whiteside, minutes-wise and play-wise. I think Dragic is a solid player, but their wings they're pretty versatile with the wings. They've got James Johnson, Wayne Ellington, Josh Richardson, Dion Waiters. They're all pretty decent players. They're not uber talented. And so I think that eventually is going to hurt them in the playoffs, even in the first round if they ended up playing Washington, for example. Like I said, if the playoffs started today, that's who they would play. But I think they would struggle because they don't have that guy that will break out and help you throughout an entire series. And I think you need that in the playoffs nowadays to get past some of these teams. But the Heat are strong. They're a strong team. I like what they've done so far this season and being that number 4 spot. The Wizards are a good team with an all-star backcourt of John Wall and Bradley Beal. Great, great players. But their bench is what's going to hurt them. I can see them getting to the second round, but no further because Kelly Oubre is their best player off the bench and no one else is even really worth talking about. They're not that great. But then you've got the Bucks, who I think are a threat because of Antetokounmpo, but he's not going to have an outside jump shot developed by the playoffs, so I don't think they're going to get too far. I think maybe second round highest. But Eric Bledsoe is playing well as well. But you look at 4 through 10 in the Eastern Conference right now, and they're only separated by 4 games. Sixers are just 3 games behind number 4 Miami, and the Knicks are only 4 games behind number 4 Miami. So look for 4 to 10 to shift throughout the entire year. It's going to shuffle a lot. So watch that as you do watch the NBA this season. Now that college football is done and NFL will end pretty soon, watch for that. It's going to be really fun to watch. I still think the Celtics are the class of the East. But if I had to pick a 7-game series between the Celtics and the Cavs, should the Cavs and Celtics meet in the conference finals, I still would pick the Cavaliers. So Eastern Conference is looking great. Great race coming up. Boston's probably going to get number 1, and then Raptors and the Cavs will look to vie for that number 2 spot.
Right now, Sam. I be with the hit maker.
Baby, come give me something.